Hi everyone, and welcome to my very first video makeup tutorial. Hopefully I can work out how to edit this because I'm sure I'm going to make 1,000 mistakes throughout. Please don't judge, but here we go. Today what I'm going to do is just a simple everyday makeup look. What I do for a simple everyday makeup look. My problem areas are a lot of pigmentation, so I have got a lot of pigmentation here. I've just had this one burnt at the doctor's, this one burnt. Hopefully in the next few weeks, these ones will fall off. I'm in the middle of getting some laser done here, a bit of pigmentation here. Up here was an accident with a curling iron a couple of days ago, and then a netball to the face, which popped off a bit of skin last night. So it's not feeling the greatest today. So I wanted to cover all of those and show you how I can do it. Also, this nasty pimple that I've had under here for a few days now that I'm trying to cover. Normally when I'm doing a makeup look, particularly when I'm doing a more glam look, I'll always do my eyes first, and that way if there's any fallout from the makeup, it will all be covered up and concealed when I put my makeup on. But today what I'm going to do is, because we're just doing a quick, simple makeup look, I'm going to start with my foundation first. I'm going to start with primer, and the first primer I'm going to use is the Mecca primer. I actually love this Mecca Maxima primer. It's really hydrating on the skin and makes the skin feel lovely. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger and then I'm just going to rub it into the skin. The next thing I'm going to do is I have actually a lot of pore issues all the way through here. So large enlarged pores and all the way in through here. Although this primer is really hydrating, it actually doesn't fill in those pores. And what I like to use is the Benefit Poreless or Porefessional. There's 3 different types of this. This is the lightweight pearl primer. And I really like this because you only need the tiniest amount. And then you just press it in to those problem areas and it fills in your pores and makes them disappear. Up here as well, just to get through some of those lines, and down here. Okay, so next is foundation. I actually don't have a go-to foundation. I have about 3 or 4 different foundations depending on different ways I want to look or how full coverage I want. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. I really like this foundation because it's a lightweight coverage. So I just want a lightweight for an everyday look. Drop a bit on here, bit on here, bit up the top, bit down the bottom. And then you want to get your damp beauty sponge. This one's just from Mecca. And you want to dab it into the skin. You don't want to rub it into the skin. You're not rubbing it into the skin. You're wanting it to sit on top of the skin. If you rub it into the skin, then it's not sitting nicely. I'm going to use a mirror. It's just one of the Tarte mirrors, just to help me see exactly what I'm doing. So if I'm looking off the screen, it's just because I'm looking into a mirror myself. The other thing you don't want to do, particularly with aging skin like mine, I've just turned 40, is put a lot of foundation around your eyes, because you want to bring all of this and get this with concealer and cover this up with concealer. So you don't, the more foundation or the more products you put on your skin, the more cakier it's going to look. So you want to try and leave this area here without the foundation so that you can cover it with your concealer. So just got to press that into the skin, pressing it in, bring it all the way down to your neck, just so it blends in, taking it up over the ears again, so it's all blending through and up. And my lovely burn mark is going to be fun to conceal today. Okay, so now that I've pressed the foundation into the skin, I'm going to take my concealer. I'm obsessed at the moment. I'm obsessed everything Too Faced, but I'm obsessed with the Born This Way Too Faced. This is in the colour Snow, and it gives you a nice soft look under the eye. So I try to go a little lighter under the eye, and it just brightens up that area. I'm just going to dot those areas that are problem areas for me at the moment. I'm also going to run a little bit down my nose and a little bit on my chin and my forehead, just to make it all seamlessly blend to look smooth together, to get rid of those dark pigmentation in our eyes. Okay. Again, I'm going to take my beauty blender, my beauty sponge from Mecca. This time I'm going to use the flat edge, because with the flat edge and the point, I can get right up into my eye. I'm going to look down and get right up under the eye and going over the eye to give my eye a primed look as well. I'm bringing it down the face so it all blends in smoothly and it doesn't look like I've got a big white part here and the rest of my face is my normal colour. So as you can see, that's covered over my, apart from the little bit of skin there, my burn mark and netball injury quite nicely. And it's also covered that nasty pimple that I have here quite nicely. Again, bring it in around the noses, which is again where my problem areas are. Okay, after you do that, blending it all in so that it all looks seamless, is you want to set your concealer so that your concealer doesn't slide throughout the day. Again, being Too Faced obsessed that I am, I'm using this Born This Way translucent powder. It has a nice little pop open edge. What I do is I tap a bit into the top of the lid. So I've got my powder in here. I get my Morphe M536 brush. It's my Morphe brush. And I'm just going to roll the powder onto my eye. Again on the other side. I'm going to roll the powder onto my eye. I'm going to press it onto the top of my eye, which is going to set the concealer for a nice little eyeshadow look. I'm going to bring it down my nose, up my T-zone, and down onto my chin. Now I'm going to leave that powder set there for a while. The longer you leave it, the more it will set, and the more your powder won't go anywhere your concealer won't go anywhere for the day. Now, because I'm just doing an everyday look, I'm going to use the Cheerleader Benefit Cosmetics powder for my eyes. But first, I'm going to fill in. I've actually just had my eyebrows darkened, but I want to fill in this part here because your eyebrows should actually end where the corner of your eye starts. So I'm just going to use, again, the Benefit. This is the number 3. little gel liner. I'm going to dip it into the little pot. And I'm going to run it down just ever so lightly. So that it fills in my brows a little bit. And again on this side, just running it down because my eyebrows have never grown down this far. And then if there's any areas that just need a bit of light filling in, I'll just go over the top, just give them a light fill in. So the eyebrows are done. Normally you can sculpt out your eyebrows with your concealer, but at the moment I don't want to do that because I'm just doing a casual everyday look. Okay. Now I'm going to use the Cheerleader by Benefit palette. This is awesome. It's got the Dallas, it's got the Hula, it's got Tickle, which is a really lovely highlighting shade. It's got Dandelion and it's got California. These two are blushes. This one's actually supposed to be a blush, but I actually use this for a contour, and this is your bronzer here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a fluffy brush. Again, this is Morphe, that's the M330 Morphe brush. I'm just going to dip it into the Hula up here, tap off the excess, and I'm going to start on the corner of my eye and I'm just going to flick it all the way over. And I'm going to build up that product as I go. The reason I'm using this color is because I'm also going to use this to bronze my face. And if you keep the same colors that you're using on your eyes and bronzing up your face, it just gives your face a very seamless look. So here's my crease in here, and I'm just bringing it above my crease and just feathering it out so I have no harsh lines. Again, I'm going to do the same on the other side. I always start in the corner because in the corner is where you want most product. This is where you're defining your eye and making sure you're getting that lovely eye shape. Okay, and when you're happy, so I'm going to just go over to make sure I've got no lines at the top and it's all seamlessly blended through where my actual skin itself starts and the Hula ends. So you've got no harsh lines. I'm then going to dip into Dallas because I want to deepen up that crease. I want to be able to give the look of nice depth within my eye. So I'm going to take that darker shade here, Dallas, and I'm just going to get a smaller brush, a smaller fluffy brush. It's still a fluffy brush, but it's a lot smaller, and this is the M506. I'm going to dip it into Dallas, but this time, rather than going all the way up, I'm just doing it in my crease. So I'm just going right in here in my crease. And this is going to give me some depth into my eye. Can I just tell you these products smell amazing as well. So easy to blend. It makes things so seamless. If you actually put a little bit more product into the corner of your eye here, you get a really lovely shape of your eye and it just really defines the eye. So I like to work the product almost into a triangle and then bring the leftover up and over. Okay, Again, I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to start by pressing the product into the corner, making a triangle. And then bringing it up and over. Notice I'm not going higher. I'm not going higher than my crease. I went up here with my hula before, but I'm not going up higher. I'm just staying in the crease because it's a darker shade and I just want to give depth to my eye. Okay. All right. Now what I like to do is I like to go for a bit of the gold look. So I'm going to take my Tartist Pro To Go tart palette. This is just a little tiny tart palette that I use, and I'm obsessed with this color and shade, and it's called Hype. And I just like to take, particularly for foil shades where they've got a bit of flick and glimmer in them, I just like to take a finger because it applies the product so much easier. So I've got it on my finger and I'm just going to start from the middle and work on the outside. Again, on the other side, just dip it in with a clean finger. Start from the middle and work to the outside. You can use a brush to do this as well. You won't get the pigmentation payoff that you will. When I say pigmentation, I mean the color, the depth of the color payoff that you will when you use your finger. But what you can do is you can wet the brush and use the brush wet. I always find, personally, I prefer my finger, but I know some people don't like using their finger. Then to make sure everything blends seamlessly, I'm just going to take my Morphe little brush again and dip into Dallas again. And I'm just going to dap over here, just so it all blends in nice and seamlessly. So you can't see where the gold starts and the brown stops. Bring it across. Okay. Now that we've got part of the eye done, I'm going to get a big fluffy brush and I'm going to wipe away that excess powder. And the rest of the powder, I'm just going to use by tapping on the top of the skin so that I'm setting my foundation and it shouldn't move anywhere for the day. Okay. Set, running all the way through. I find that if I do sweeping motions, I'll often get a lot of pigment. I'll get some texture back on my nose, so I just like to pat it. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a little chiseled brush. So I don't even know where I got this from. Oh, it's an elf brush, but it's just a chiseled brush. It's a thin chisel brush, and I'm going to pick up Hula, so that lighter shade again. Sorry, I'm going to pick up Dallas, the darker shade, on the Hula brush, tap it off, and I'm just going to run it under my eye. So that you're blending the top of your eye and your bottom of your eye, and it all runs in seamlessly. Okay, then you take your little fluffy brush again pick up some hoola and you're just going to run that underneath just to diffuse everything. Now another trick I've learnt is that when you're just doing an everyday eye look, you want your eye to open up and you want your eye to pop a bit. So I like to put a white, and this is just the Maybelline Master Drama highlighter pencil. It's like a gel eyeliner. And I like to run that in your waterline. The reason you run it into your waterline is because it makes your eyes look bigger. So to run it through your waterline, and don't worry too much if you get into your eyelashes, because you'll clean that up when you put mascara on. I like to bring it around, again defining that eye. And it just pops open. As you see, I haven't put as much on here as here, but see, this eye just looks so much more open and popped with a bit of white in the waterline. The other trick I like doing is putting a highlighter, and for this one I'm going to use the Tarte. This is the Wonderland Luxe Eye Palette. It's the Tarte palette, and this is shade Pop Fizzle and Clink shade. This little pink shade here. It's actually a really lovely shade. And if you just get a small fluffy brush like this one, this is a Morphe 431. I'm going to put it in the corner of my eye. And over here. Again, it makes your eye pop and brighten. And then I'm also going to run it just under my eyes to give a more lifted look to my eyebrows. Okay. So now we're going to start on contouring. Again, I've picked up my Benefit Cheerleader palette. The Benefit Cheerleader palette comes with a little brush, and I'm going to pick up Dallas on my brush, and I'm going to put a highlight, and I'm just going to run the highlight just from the top of my ear halfway down my cheek. So just from the top of your ear halfway down your cheek. And that's going to give you a really chiseled, when it's all blended in, a really chiseled cheek look. So essentially what you're doing is you're creating a shadow to make your cheeks really pop. Again, I'm going to do that along my chin to take away any double chins and to give a really sharp chin line. Again, I'm using Dallas to do that. Okay, now I'm going to pick up a fluffy brush, pick up a bit of hoola, and I'm going to start bronzing my face. Using that bronzer to blend it all in. Same color as I was using on my eyes. Blend it all in, run it in the cheeks. So when you're blending, when you're doing your bronzer, you like to do almost like a motion of a 3. So you sort of start around here, you go up around here and down on your, so you start on your forehead, you run it along your cheek and then down here. So you're trying to go just under your cheekbone to give your cheekbone, give the appearance that your cheekbone's a lot higher and a lot bigger than it is. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm going to use the shade Tickle, which I am obsessed with, to give me a highlight. So I'm going to take just a small Morphe brush. I'm going to run it just on top of my cheek and connect it up to my eyebrow. So it just runs along here. Look at that shine, love it. Then we're just going to bring it up, and it just gives you that beautiful dewy when the sun catches it. I'm going to put a bit on my nose. I'm going to run it down my nose. You want to put this a little bit up here, a little bit up here. By putting it above your eyebrows too, you're getting the illusion that you've got a lifted eyebrow look. I always run it on the top of my lip and then on my chin. The other thing I like to do again is get that flat brush and pick up Hoola again, so the bronzed colour, and just run that slightly under the lip and then blend it in with your finger, and it gives you the illusion of bigger, thicker lips. Okay, now I always use California and Dandelion together, so I'm just going to pick up a brush, dip it into both, and you want to put this on the apples of your cheek and bring it up. So you don't want to be dragging anything down, because that'll give the illusion of pulling makeup down and making your face look droopy. Anytime you want to bring your blush up so that you're giving the illusion of a lifted look. Pat it on and then lift it up. Pat it on and then drag it up. Can go over the nose. Okay, I'm going to put my Better Than Sex eyeliner on. So I'm just going to, sorry, I'm going to have to use the other mirror. Just going to start from the inside and just run a really seamless line just on the top of my eyelash like this. There we go. And then I'm going to use the mascara that I had. It's brand new. It's from Huda, Legit Lashes. It is the most amazing mascara I have ever used. I am absolutely obsessed. One side is a volume and the other side is a curl and lengthen, and it makes you look like your eyes just pop. I'll do one side so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the volume. Little trick, if you ever get a little smudge of mascara, don't worry about it, let it dry, and then you can just scratch it off. Okay, so that's the volume side. Then you take the length and curling side. And this just adds the most amazing length to your lashes. I am absolutely obsessed with this mascara. So you can see where I've got my mascara on, where I don't have mascara on, you can see what it does and how much it makes the eye pop. Mascara on, no mascara on. It's amazing. Then to get it in to the corner, I just sort of blink. Well, I'll put the wand there and just sort of blink on the wand, and that helps me get it right into the corner. So that's one eye done. We'll do the other eye. Okay, volume side is done. Length and curl side to come. So you can see it hasn't curled it yet, it's just volumized it. And here we go, is the magic to make it curl. Whoop, right up. As I said, I've just made a bit of a mistake here. I've got a bit of mascara here. I'm just going to let that dry and then just scratch it off. Okay. Now for lips, you just want a really nice neutral lip. So I'm going to use the Sephora Brown 20, I think it's called. I like the crayon lips where you don't actually have to sharpen. You can just go up. And the trick to this is, if you're worried about having thinner lips, if you go just above your lip line at the top and down the bottom, but then follow your lip line in as you go in, you can give the appearance of much fuller lips. The other thing you can do with your lip liner is just fill in the ends so you can get a nice ombre effect. So those are my lips. Then I'm just going to put on a bit of lipstick. Sorry, just a bit of, this is the NARS. Just a lip gloss. Okay, I'm just going to scratch off that mascara and we're just about done. Okay, we're going to set it with a lovely setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Chill. I cannot recommend these guys highly enough. Your makeup will not move. A light spray. I go and do my hair and I'll be back to show you the final look. Hi guys, so this is the final look. I really hope that you enjoyed my tutorial today, and if you like it, please subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified of any future updates. Thanks all!